Everybody, welcome back. Today we are at Buffalo Lake National Wildlife Reservation. I think is what it's called. I think is what it's called. NWR, National Wildlife Reserve, maybe. Anyway, we're just south of Umbarger, Texas, and I'm sitting in a line of, I don't know, 25, 30 campsites. There is no one else here. I mean, this place is absolutely deserted. The scene behind me is the lake, if you will. There hasn't been water here for 20, 25, 30 years. So that's probably why nobody comes here. We're out here, we're doing it. It's actually really nice to not be around anybody. Dale's here playing some frisbee. Being an absolute mess. It's quite windy right now. What time is it? I think it's about 3:30. 3:30. Dale and I are gonna go do a run. But first, we need to do some prep for our post-run snack. So I'm gonna pull the kitchen out and I'll bring you in for that. All right, this is gonna be the easiest tortilla you ever made. You're gonna start 2 cups all-purpose flour, a half a teaspoon of baking powder, full teaspoon of salt. A little extra never killed anybody. And I like to go ahead and mix those dry ingredients. To those dry ingredients, you're going to want a 1/4 cup of any kind of oil or fat. I've used pork lard, bacon fat, melted butter, vegetable oil, you name it, I've used it for these tortillas. Today we're using olive oil. And you want a 1/4 cup of your fat or your oil, and we're just eyeballing it. And we're going to top off that cup with the rest of our water. Pour it into our dry mixture and start mixing this together. This is going to form a really shaggy dough. It shouldn't be too wet, it shouldn't be too dry. And these are going to come out a little bit green because of the olive oil, but that'll be fancy. That just means it's good for you, right? You know you've got your proportions right when it doesn't really want to stick to your hand too bad. And you immediately start working this stuff. Knead it for 30, 60 seconds or so. Alright, once you got that pretty well incorporated, set it aside. Get some plastic wrap. And before you wrap this up, you're going to want to try to roll it into a tight ball. Kind of use both hands if you want. You want a nice tight ball of dough, just like that. Put that in a warm place for 60 to 90 minutes, and then you'll be ready to roll out some tortillas. It's perfect though, because 8 miles will be about, I don't know, an hour and 15, 20 minutes for us. And that'll make this dough ready to eat. Dale and I are in full run mode now. There's no maps of this place. I've been scouting it out on Google Earth satellite, and I think there's an 8-mile loop that basically covers the old shoreline of the old lake, if you will. We're going to try to kind of orient ourselves and find that. I'm going to take the GoPro with me. I've got it on a tiny little tripod. It's blowing, I don't know, 25, 30 miles an hour, so any footage that I do take on the run will probably need some music over it or something, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Let's get after it. I'll shoot some video if I see something cool. We're only this far from the truck, but this is a ominous sign. Promise me you're gonna stay out of any water. Good news is, it's dry as a bone out here. I don't think there's any water. Not sure what kind of poop this is. We're about 15 minutes in. Also, some of the grayest dirt I've ever seen. They could have faked the moon landing out here. So I'm not sure if this is an artifact of the lake or the farming community. Looks like a inline 6, maybe a Continental. What do you think, bud? I don't think there's any saving that. I don't even think there's a piston in there anymore. Back to it. This is the first indication that there's any water out here at all. I believe this is the southern boundary of the NWR. This area we're looking towards is towards the south, and I believe that's a marsh area that's restricted. A lot of birds and other, I think some ducks just flew off here. Some with some really vibrant colors. The habitat is working, but It's kind of out here in the core of it. You don't see it from the roadway, so I think that's what people talk about online, how there's not any birds here, they don't migrate through here. Well, I don't think most people run, you know, several miles out into the middle of this place. Seen a lot of droppings from animals. I don't know if it's maybe coyotes or bobcat, something like that, but there is wildlife out here, that's for sure. I think at the end of this straight road, if you look just to the right, you can catch a little glimpse of the camper. I believe that's our 5-mile bailout point. We've got another 3 miles, finish up. We're gonna loop around, go back past the original dam up there, which should be cool, and then back to the camper. So far, this eastern edge has been pretty unremarkable. We're in this group of trees, which you don't really find in the Texas Panhandle too often. Running right along the road on this side, and it's generally just not as enjoyable as the western edge. You don't feel nearly as isolated. So we made a navigation error somewhere, and we're gonna have to bring it back in on the road. Luckily, I remember that sign, and we're not very far out from the truck. Well past our cutoff time. Hour and 30 minutes right now. I'm gonna walk for a minute. We'll probably jog it in when we can see the truck. Something of note, pretty much the whole area that I live in doesn't do open campfires. On very rare occasion, we'll get a really wet season and they'll lift the burn ban for a couple of weeks, and then it's back to no open fires, you know, no charcoal, no ash producing cooking, that kind of thing. That's why the camp stove is so pivotal to my kitchen setup. West Texas sure can be beautiful, but it is super dry. This is a very classic West Texas sky right now. Deep blue, fluffy clouds, and abundant sunshine. Here's a cool sign. I think we're a little too early in the spring to see any tarantulas, but I'll be sure and get them on video if I see one. Looks like total moving time of 1 hour and 37 minutes, which is pretty dang good. You did good. I'm gonna get the truck unlocked, get some snacks going. I'll bring you back. Okay, first things first, I'm gonna hook our water up and get a little water warming up so I can clean myself up, be a little more comfortable this evening. Really need a snack though, so we're gonna try to do this double quick in a hurry. Wind is ripping. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it's definitely a blowing. We're gonna let that water boil. I'm gonna clean up. I'll bring you back for snack making. It's time for snacks. Well, the first snack, and the coolest thing is, we're gonna use the old stick blender because we got power now. Handful of ice, chalky milk. I've been trying to stay away from the dairy, but this is a rare treat for me. Throw a banana in there. Big old scoop of natty peanut butter. Oh yeah. Ooh, it doesn't get any better than that, does it? Wowza. That's living in luxury. Woo! Hot damn, that's good. Ah, brain freeze. People always say for a brain freeze, you stick your tongue to the roof of your mouth. I think that's just a conspiracy theory. Woo! Man, that hits the spot. Looks like my water's about ready. I'm gonna cut the camera, get myself cleaned up, put some warmer clothes on, and I'll bring you back. We are back. We got our first tortilla rolled out and going in our skillet. This recipe I think makes 8. I just pull off a wad though and give it one of these. And no rolling pin because we're in the wild, but we're using my water bottle. I just kind of wiped off the ick off of it. And you can really take these paper thin if you want to. I don't really worry about having a regular shape or thickness, or you know, I just say, get in my belly. I just flipped this one over, but that's about what you can expect. Finished my smoothie. That thing was delicious. Awesome to have the stick blender running off the inverter. Feels like the Ritz-Carlton out here currently. Give me a piece of that. Yum. Once that skillet's good and hot, it doesn't take but 15-20 seconds aside. Even faster, you know, if you can get your skillet really hot, they'll just take a few seconds per side, but not really possible with the old camp stove setup. Ooh, that's tasty. Those carbs be hitting after the run. Hey, big dummy. What are you doing rolling in the grass for? Are you a goof? Yeah? You're a goof? Yeah? Alright, just checking. For our last pre-dinner snack, I'm just going to take some dark chocolate, grate it up on that bad boy. Now, if you don't think that looks good, you got to be absolutely insane. Look at that. Yum. We're just going to fold this up into a nice chalky taco. Oh, it was beautiful. Save these for another time. Throw them in the microwave for 10-15 seconds. They'll puff right up. Look at that. About 6:45. I'm going to cut the camera, do a little setup, so I start cooking some dinner. I'll bring you back. We are rapidly losing light out here, as usual. We got our pan getting hot. We're going to start with some olive oil. Actually, I should probably talk about what we're making first. Tonight we're making no-bake skillet lasagna. I was first turned on to this by America's Test Kitchen about a week ago. If you don't know America's Test Kitchen, they're awesome. You should check them out. I'll throw a link below, although they do not need me promoting them. They're a massive channel. But they posted this lasagna, and I said, man, I can't wait to make that while camping. So here we are. This is going to be a really abridged, quick version. Like I said, I'll link their video below if you want, you know, all the nitty-gritty details. But I've already made this one time, so I kind of get the idea of it. I'm not working off a recipe or anything here, just on how I remember it, and some things that I wanted to change just a little bit. Once our oil gets a little sheen going, we're gonna throw in some finely chopped garlic, or we're gonna throw it all over the floor. Jesus. All right, luckily we've got some more garlic. Can't do anything right. Chopped garlic going in. We're going to throw that in the oil just long enough to toast up. Start creating some flavor. Now we're going to add one whole finely chopped onion, like so. And we're going to add about a teaspoon of salt. That'll start breaking that onion down. We're going to cook that down until the onions go translucent. Our onions are cooking down nicely. We're about there. Now we're going to add our meat. This is 1 pound total, 50% ground beef and 50% ground Italian sausage. We're going to throw that in there and brown it up. Got to get your hands involved sometimes. Now that we've got a nice brown on our meat, go ahead and mix your meat with your onion garlic mixture. And to that, we're going to add 28 ounces of crushed tomatoes, just right on top. And we're going for a full quart, so 32 ounces in a quart. I'm going to add another 4 ounces of water, clean that can out a little bit. And we're going to add an 8-ounce container of tomato sauce right on top, just to build those flavors. We're going to take our lasagna noodles and go ahead and break them. Really easy to do it in the bag. You don't lose the pieces everywhere. You want to break them into, 1.5 to 2-inch pieces. And we're going to spread those directly in the top. This is about a ½ pound of lasagna noodles. Doesn't have to look pretty. Bunch of little pieces and what's not. Don't be afraid to get your hands in there. And for people freaking out that we're doing tomato sauce in the cast iron, just get over yourself. It's fine. It's a pan. It's meant to be cooked in. We're going to bring that to a boil, which we're pretty close. We're going to cover. Now I'll check this periodically every 5 minutes or so and stir. About 20 minutes from now, we will be ready to finish it off. I had to give it an additional 5 minutes or so. Just normal camp stove problems, but now our noodles are sufficiently done. We're going to give everything a final stir. We got a big old handful of fresh basil. Give that a smack. Activate those flavors in there. We're just going to lay those out pretty. Get them putting that flavor right down into the sauce. On top of that, I'm going to do a handful of pre-grated Parmesan. In between the basil, we're going to put in some nice scoops of ricotta cheese. Now we're going to cover that, give it about 5 more minutes, and we'll be eating. Now for the big reveal. Oh, that looks good. It could use a little more heat, but man, I am starved. Now to serve this, grab a scoop of basil, left our ricotta. That's heavenly right there. Yum. Last thing I missed, we're gonna garnish the top with a big old pinch of red pepper flakes, and we'll give her a taste. Make sure we get all that goodness in here. Not real big on pasta, but lasagna with some Parmesan, some cheese, and some red pepper flakes, that hits the spot, especially after a high intensity activity like we had today. This recipe also makes enough to feed like a family of 5, so if you're just one guy, you could probably cut all the portions in half and still have enough for 2 meals. I will probably do that next time because I'm not looking forward to packing away these leftovers. Dale's out here living his best life. You know, sometimes I even surprise myself. Noodles are definitely pretty al dente, but I think that's due to the camp stove. You know, your area of heat on the camp stove is only yay big. I really think I'm going to have to convert to propane to really cook my BTUs up to the next notch. So far, we're having a great time at Buffalo Lake. Place is desolate. We've seen 1 car drive through the campground area. I saw 1 car at the entrance when we came in about 2 o'clock, and I caught a glimpse of somebody on a mountain bike on our run. But other than that, it's been absolutely desolate and peaceful. Besides the wind, but you know, March, April, May in this area is windy. Our base wind is probably 15 miles an hour. Anything under that is an absolute perfect day. That's pretty. It's a little dark in the camper. Of course, I don't have my lights hooked up yet, but I've already got the bed pulled out into bed mode. I think I'm gonna climb on in there, finish my lasagna. We'll let all these leftovers cool down, and then we'll pack things up, do a little lounging, and we'll start working on this video edit for the evening. Chances are you won't see us again until in the morning, but we'll see you then. One last little dying light circus trick before I retire to the camper. We start editing this video. Hang on. All right. We got it back. Look at it. Let me up here. Down. Okay, I made it about 15 feet. Ta-da! Check this out. Just fired up the inverter. And we're a-charging. It's about 7:15 a.m. Dale is raring to go. About 39 degrees, and I'm cold. We gotta get our weather strip in around the door there. You can see the light streaming in. Also, it's time to hook the heater up. I laid around last night and thought about this, but I think I'm gonna put it right in front of this electrical cabinet. Do another little skinny cabinet right there. Lighting would be nice. You know, it'd be so sweet just to reach over here, hit a switch, throw the lights on inside, throw the lights on outside. Super dark out here with, you know, almost zero light pollution. If it weren't so cold, it would have been a great night to shoot some star photos, but I just didn't have it in me. It's coffee time. I think this is my favorite part of our morning ritual. You ready, bud? There's just something that never gets old about that. I'm gonna bypass my traditional bacon and egg breakfast. Have this tortilla I was snacking on last night. Heat her up over the flame there, she'll puff up nicely. Throw a banana in there. Breakfast of champions. Oh. Alright, so that's gonna do it for this episode. Dale and I had a wonderful time here at Buffalo Lake National Wildlife Refuge. This place is beautiful. You know, it's a good snapshot of the dry but beautiful West Texas. Don't come out here expecting Zion National Park or Arches or Yosemite or any of those, you know, picturesque parks, but this place has a beauty all of its own. Good 8 mile, 9 mile, I think we added a couple miles to the 8 mile loop. If you like this content, go ahead and hit that like button for me and subscribe if you haven't already. That just helps me to keep making cool videos, creating cool content, and getting it out to more people. I think we're up to 1,100 and some change as of the upload of this video. So thanks to all my previous subscribers. Hope you continue to enjoy the videos, and more are coming. Also, go ahead and share this video with your friends. If you're a runner, a camper, you're into building stuff, we're going to cover all that stuff on this channel. Right now we're really in the camp and running mode. It's early spring, best time of year to be outside. But I do have some cool builds coming up. We're going to do a foam fiberglass cooler constructed much like the camper. We're going to do a stand-up paddleboard at some point. And we still have all the details to finish on the camper, the diesel heater, the lighting, some of that stuff. So stick around for that. That'll be coming shortly. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week.